Hi everyone, if you're not familiar with my channel, my name is Layla and I am a rising sophomore now at Barnard College, and I'm making this video. Well, first of all, it's been a while since I made my last video. First semester of my freshman year, I made my first two and only two videos on my channel currently, and since then a lot has changed. Obviously now we're all in quarantine and there's the whole coronavirus situation, which is the reason why I haven't really uploaded since then. I was working on a couple second semester videos, but then we kind of got kicked off of campus once coronavirus got bigger in New York, and I've just been home since, and so there's not a lot of college content that I could film at home. But I did feel like making this video would be important. Since filming my last two videos, particularly my first video, the NSOP video, a fair amount of prospective Barnard students have reached out to me on Instagram, DMing me with questions, which is just crazy. And I'm so grateful that you guys trust me to answer your questions about Barnard, and I love answering your questions about Barnard too. So a lot of you have DM'd me and said, like, I'm sorry to bother you, but these are like questions that I have. And first of all, I just want to let you guys know that you are not bothering me at all when you ask me questions about Barnard. I'm always honored and excited to answer your questions, no matter how simple or long-winded the answer will be. I will always be available to answer your questions. And that kind of brings me to what this video is about. A lot of the questions that have been asked are kind of similar, and of course I'm not discouraging anyone from asking me questions, but I felt like maybe if I could record this video and answer some more common questions that you guys have, that could possibly be helpful, because even though a lot of you have reached out to me and asked questions, I'm sure there are some of you that have these questions but haven't reached out for whatever reason, or maybe you don't even know that you have this question and I'm answering it now. Either way, I just thought that it could be helpful to just like have a Q&A, a little Q&A of some popular questions that I've been asked since my last two videos. And so this is my Barnard first year Q&A. And now I'm looking for my phone because my phone has the questions. One moment. Okay. Am I focused? Okay. I'm back with my phone, which has some of the questions that you guys have been asking me on it. And so I will now be answering some popular questions that I've been asked by prospective Barnard students, and hopefully it's helpful for you guys. Okay, what am I majoring in? So as I said before, I am a rising sophomore, and at Barnard you don't need to declare your major until spring semester of your sophomore year. So I'm not declared, but the path that I'm following right now is a major in environment and sustainability and a minor in English, and so that is where I am headed. Does attending an all-girls school affect your social interactions? So, no, because Barnard is affiliated with Columbia University. You can integrate yourself with Columbia as much or as little as you want, and so I would definitely not say that attending an all-girls school affects your social interactions, really. It can if you want it to, but Columbia students can take classes on Barnard's campus, and we cross-register in classes, our clubs overlap, so like you're still seeing guys all the time, you're seeing Columbia students all the time, Columbia students are seeing Barnard students all the time. You can't tell a Barnard student from a Columbia student. And between the two schools, there's just like a lot of people, I would say. So I don't think that Barnard has limited my social interactions. Is Barnard competitive? Do you feel like you had to overcome imposter syndrome? I would say that Barnard, there's definitely academic rigor at Barnard. So I would say that No, you know what? Let's start over. Barnard is academically rigorous, but the community is not in competition with each other. People at Barnard very much want to see you succeed and help you out. We have peer-to-peer tutoring programs available. I've never ever been turned down when I ask someone for help. People are always so willing to like study with you or like help you out if you need help. Before I came to Barnard, I heard that at some schools, people will like trick you and like tell you things that are wrong if you ask for clarification, which do people do that? That would be really mean. No one at Barnard has ever done that to me. People have been nothing short of like really kind and really sweet and really helpful, literally 100% of the time. And so I would say that even though Barnard is academically rigorous, just as much as Columbia is academically rigorous, we definitely have a very supportive community and we don't put each other down at all. Oh, and then the imposter syndrome thing. I would say yes. I've definitely had a little bit of imposter syndrome. Even now as a sophomore, I still can't believe that I go to Barnard. It was my #1 choice. I ED'd there. I really, really wanted to go. And so the fact that I'm here and it's great and everything's awesome, it's just, so yeah, when I first got there, I was like, I definitely felt a little bit of imposter syndrome. My peers are really smart and really accomplished, and so at first you do feel a little bit like, ooh, do I really belong here? But I think at the president's address, one of the first things that our college president, Sean Bylock, told us is that we're all here for a reason. Barnard did not accept us on accident. Or maybe Dean Gradage said that. I don't remember who said that. Someone said that and it resonated with me. If you get accepted at Barnard, it's not an accident. They did mean to accept you, and so there's no reason to feel imposter syndrome. And I know that it's easier said than done, but I mean, eventually you get over it. At first, I think you feel a little bit of imposter syndrome because it's like a lot. It's a great, very studious community, but eventually you realize that you do belong here. You find your place, you find your friends, you find your clubs, and everything's fine. So yes, but it doesn't last forever. What's the relationship like between Barnard and Columbia? I'm like out of breath from talking. Like I'm not breathing, I'm just straight talking. What's the relationship like between Barnard and Columbia? Okay, so first of all, I think the relationship between Barnard and Columbia generally is very good. I don't think that we're out for blood with each other, but I do want to say that the relationship between Barnard and Columbia is pretty different during and after NSOP. And so when you first get on campus, a lot of Columbia students are just now hearing about Barnard for the first time, which is kind of crazy. So they're like, not sure what to make of it. They're still like, they ask a lot of questions during your NSOP orientation, and it might be a little off-putting. You might be like, oh, Columbia students, they're so judgy, blah, 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 or whatever. But they get over it, it's fine. Yeah, so during NSOP, it might feel a little rigid, especially since we have different NSOP programs. Barnard has its own NSOP program, Columbia has its own NSOP program. There's a little bit of overlap, not really. Columbia students are like, who are these people? Barnard students are like, why are you guys like this? But after that, it's fine. I think once the classes really integrate and the community integrates and all that, the school year kicks off. Like I said before, you can't tell a Columbia student from a Barnard student, and everything's fine. I think that most Columbia students don't really mind that Barnard students exist. Yeah, I've never really had a bad experience. Not even never really, never period. I've never had a bad experience with a Columbia student or any Columbia student making me feel like I'm less than them or not as smart as them or not as qualified as them. Personally, I've never had that experience. So I would say we have a pretty good relationship, and yeah, I think you have nothing to worry about, it's okay. Why did you choose Barnard? Aw, okay. So why I chose Barnard? I came from a very small high school. Very, very small. Like 200 kids for all 4 years small. Very small. And so I was told by my college counselor, but also like I agreed, that I should try and find a smaller college to be a part of, because I've always gone to small schools. And so Barnard to me is like pretty big, but anyways. Yeah, so I was looking for a small school, but I didn't want to sacrifice all of the resources that larger schools have to offer. And so kind of being torn between small school, medium, large school, Barnard was perfect because it's like a smaller community within a larger university, if you count like all the grad schools and everything. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds, because you're a part of a small school, but also part of like a medium to large institution, and you get the benefits of a small community, like teachers knowing you, recognizing people that you see often, but at the same time Columbia exists, and so you have lots of people that you can connect with. It's great. This is not an original reason why I chose to go to Barnard, but now that I'm a part of the community, it's definitely something that I would add to my why Barnard now. And that is the predominantly female leadership of the institution. If you look at like the deans, our president, they're all women, which is really rare at other institutions. Given that Barnard is like a women's college, I guess like it makes sense why our leadership is all women. But I still find it really inspiring that there's such an emphasis on women in leadership at Barnard that a lot of schools don't necessarily focus on as much as Barnard does. So yeah, definitely the women in leadership at Barnard has really been inspiring to me, and I would definitely add that on to my why Barnard now as a current student. Hey guys, it's Layla editing this video, and I just wanted to clarify that while Barnard's predominantly female leadership team wasn't a part of my original why Barnard, Barnard's emphasis on women in leadership was. That's a big reason why I wanted to go to a women's college, and an even bigger reason why Barnard is the specific one that I chose. That's all. Another thing is how ambitious and accomplished my peers are. I think my peers are awesome. They do a lot of really cool things. I know someone who works at Snapchat. I know someone who has a digital magazine. I know multiple people who have released albums on iTunes and Spotify. And so I definitely would add to my why Barnard now the accomplishments of my peers and the supportive environment. Like, I don't think anyone's jealous of anyone for accomplishing all of these amazing things. Everyone's so driven and ambitious, and I just love that whole atmosphere that Barnard has. And before going to Barnard, I didn't quite see it because I wasn't a student there, but now that I'm a student, I would definitely count that as a part of my why Barnard. So those are all the questions that you guys have been asking me more frequently. And if I didn't get to your question in this video, or if a question has arisen, if you want me to explain anything in more depth, please feel free to DM me on Instagram. I will leave my Instagram below. If you have any questions about applying to Barnard, I would love to answer them. Actually, if you have any questions about applying to college at all, because something that I did do this year is become a Matriculate Advising Fellow. And if you don't know what Matriculate is, we help high-achieving, low-income students apply to college. And if you would like to apply to be a Matriculate High School Fellow and get free college counseling, I will also leave a link for that below. And you are eligible if you are a junior in your spring term, semester, whatever you call it. Or if it's the summer before your junior year, you're also eligible. I'm saying spring and summer because I don't know when you're viewing this video. So if you're a rising senior, basically, then you are eligible to become a Matriculate High School Fellow. And we have lots of qualified advisors that would love to help you. And so yeah, I hope that this video has been helpful, and if it has, please feel free to give it a like and subscribe. subscribe, and I will try to release more videos more consistently in the future. I will be on campus in the fall, so I will make some content for you in the fall. And yeah, have a great rest of your summer, you guys, and hopefully I will be seeing you at Barnard in the future.